So now, first we look at the surface ectoderm. As a list, the derivatives of the surface ectoderm may be daunting, but let's just go over them once and then we'll give you an easy way to remember them. So we have the epidermis, which is the outermost of the three layers that make up the skin. Next we have the adenohypophysis, which is more commonly known as the anterior pituitary gland derived from Rathke pouch. Next we have the lens of the eye. And then we have the epithelial linings of the oral cavity. Next we have the sensory organs of the ear. Then the olfactory epithelium, which is the specialized epithelial tissue inside the nasal cavity. Next we have the anal canal below the pectinate line, and then the parotid gland, which is a major salivary gland. Next we have the sweat glands, and last but not the least, we have the mammary glands in the breast. Remembering the derivatives of the surface ectoderm, it is really important. So we have made a mnemonic for you to hopefully make it easier. Let's remember the surface ectoderm by cleaning this surface with Seal soap for me. Now you may not know, but this imaginary brand of Seal soap for me is the best one out there. So let's go over them again really quickly. So S stands for sensory organs of the ear, E stands for epidermis, A stands for adenohypophysis, then we have L, which stands for lens of the eye. Next we have S, which stands for sweat glands. O is for olfactory epithelium. A is for anal canal. Next we have P, which stands for parotid gland. M is for mammary glands. And then we have E, which is epithelial lining of the oral cavity. So you can remember the derivatives of the surface ectoderm by the mnemonic Seal soap for me. Moving on to neural tube, the neural plate is broader cranially and this forms the brain, including the neurohypophysis or the posterior pituitary gland, the CNS neurons, thirdly the oligodendrocytes, which are a type of large glial cells in the CNS, astrocytes, which are also a subtype of glial cells, ependymal cells that are a type of neuronal support cell, and then we have the pineal gland, which is the source of melatonin release. The remainder of the neural plate elongates and develops into the spinal cord. The retina is also a neural tube derivative. So another way you can remember these is by the simple sentence, a pine cone spinal retention. Let's go over them one more time, this time with the mnemonic, where A stands for astrocytes, P stands for pineal gland, C is for CNS neurons, O stands for oligodendrocytes, N stands for neurohypophysis, then we have E for ependymal cells, S for the spinal cord, and at last R for the retina. The spinal retention in the end refers to the spinal cord and the retina. So let's revise one more time that the mnemonic for the neural tube is a pine cone spinal retention. So guys, the last part of the ectoderm is the neural crest. As the neural tube forms from the neural plate, a new cell type appears in the neural crest. These are the neural crest cells, and as the neural tube forms, these cells leave the neural tube and migrate away to other parts of the embryo. They become parts of a wide range of organs and structures and differentiate to form a variety of different cell types, which we're going to study. So first we have the enterochromaffin cells. Next we have leptomeninges, which include both the arachonoid and the pia mater. Then we have the melanocytes, which are melanin-producing cells. Then the odontoblasts, which are cells that produce dentin. Next, we have the peripheral nervous system or PNS ganglia, including the cranial, dorsal root, and the autonomic ganglia. Next, we have the adrenal medulla. Then we have the Schwann cells, which are a type of glial cells in the PNS. Then the spiral membrane in the aortopulmonary septum during heart development. Next, we have the endocardial cushions, which is also derived partially from the mesoderm. And at last, we have the skull bones. So, guys, we have a hilarious mnemonic for you, which comes from a fun story about a man selling apes. And he simply can't make up his mind about how many he should sell today. So, the question he asks himself is more or less apes? Well, while he decides, we can go over our neural crest derivatives. So, first we have M, which is melanocytes, O for odontoblasts, L for leptomeninges, we have E for enterochromaffin cells, S for Schwann cells, then we have another S for spiral membrane, A for adrenal medulla, then P comes for peripheral nervous system, E for endocardial cushions, and at last we have S for skull bones. So guys, this was the mnemonic more or less apes. It's really funny, but it's easy for you to remember.